Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher. And man, I really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to spend some time with me on the video. Always very grateful for that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about how to walk a walking topwater. As far as the different type of actions you can put on a walking topwater, there's a lot more to it than just going it like that through the water. So I'm going to show you some different techniques that you need to use with this based upon the conditions and the time of the year. I'm going to show you the wrist movement on there. It's going to be a good video that's definitely going to help you get some more strikes on your topwater lures out there. Also, guys, I will link all the stuff that we're talking about today in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. You guys hear me talking about this. If you guys want to support the Fishing Teacher here, the best way to do it is just go to that link and bookmark my Tackle Warehouse link. And anytime you got to buy some plugs or whatever, fishing line, use that link, and the channel gets a little percentage of the commission. So that's much appreciated by me and my family there. Okay guys, walking topwaters, it's like this Megabass Giant Dog X or like this Super Spook here. These things have been around forever, since I think probably the 1940s, and they're still as good today as they've ever been. These things they're truly one of the top bass catching lures of all time. I would probably put a walking topwater as the best all around topwater lure of all time. So there's a lot of different ways that you can work it, and sort of what I want to talk a little bit about today. I want to go into how you want to work it as far as the cadence based upon different conditions. And I'm going to actually show you with my rod here what to do. Obviously I need to be at the lake doing this, but you know, the low tech here on the Fishing Teacher, it's hard to do that with your cell phone. So anyway, here's sort of what you need. There's two different factors. The speed that you work a walking topwater, in other words, how fast you jerk it like that to get it go side to side, it has to do with two factors. It has to do with the water clarity and the water temperature that you have. In general, just a good foundational rule of thumb, the more off-colored the water that you're fishing, the slower you need to work it, and the clearer the water is, the faster you need to work it, especially if it's in correlation with the right water temperatures. Obviously, on one extreme, you've got clear, warm water, like in the summertime when you really need to work it fast to generate that reaction strike. And then if you're fishing it in early spring when the water's still a little cool, but they're biting the topwater a little bit, maybe the water's got a little bit of color in it, then you need to slow it down and give those fish time to find it. So in other words, on the two opposite ends of the spectrum, if you're fishing clear water, warm water, this thing needs to be coming through the water just like that. It's almost as fast as you can reel it through the water, just like boop, 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 like that. And if it's more off-colored and cool, you may want to go bloop, let it set for a little bit, bloop, let it set for a little bit, bloop, let it set for a little bit. And this is one of the techniques that the old-time Ozark anglers developed, 50, 60 years ago, where they really sort of gained fame in the Ozarks here. One of the most famous topwater fishermen of all time was a guy named Shorty Evans. He lived here close to where I live in Springfield, Missouri. And he was like in his 80s, back in the late 1970s. And one of his favorite tricks for fishing a walking topwater is he would throw it out there and let it hit the bottom, let it hit the water. And then when it hit the water, he would just start reeling it like that as fast as he could for about 10 feet. And this thing would just be going everywhere, popping out of the water. And then you just kill it and let it sit there until all the ripples dissipated. And once all the ripples dissipated, he just twitch it one time and let it stop. And those fish would come up and hammer it in these Clearwater Ozark lakes. That reeling it crazy through the water like that would get their attention from a long way. And then it sat there and they moved it after studying it and they'd hammer it. So that's one of the things with that. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about how exactly you want to work it based upon the conditions that we're talking about. This is what it looks like. And let's talk a little bit about, we'll start at dirty, cooler water, and we'll work our way up to the clear, calm water with a little bit warmer. Now, if you're fishing water visibilities that are sort of like in that, probably 2 foot range, that's about as dirty as I like for a walking topwater. If the water's any dirtier than 2 feet visibility, I don't really catch that many fish on it. So if you're around that, 18 to 20 inch visibility in the water, cast it out there. Now this is especially true if you're fishing it around targets, because when you're fishing a walking topwater in stained water, you're more up on the bank. Those fish aren't going to come up out of deeper water like on points like they will in clear water to hit it in dirty water. So say for example, you throw it out there next to a boat dock, you got 2 foot of water visibility, it's springtime, the water's like 60 degrees, just nice slow, boom, 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 boom. Maybe let it pause for a little bit and go boom, boom. Let it pause, let the ripples dissipate, boom, boom, boom. Just about with that action right there. And what that makes it look like, it sort of comes through the water about like this. Just about like that, nice, slow. That's gonna get you a lot more bites in those conditions. Now, as you approach the mid-range, let's say for example, now you've got water visibility of 3 to 4 foot clarity. And as you get to 3 or 4 foot clarity, it's gonna tend to put those fish out a little bit more. In other words, you're gonna be able to catch them a little bit farther off the bank. Instead of having to be right next to like a lay down tree or dock if the water's dirty, if you got 3.5 or 4 foot of visibility, you may throw to the bank and you may work it out 10 or 12 foot from the bank and it's clear enough to pull those fish up. So in a little bit cleaner water and a little bit warmer, let's say we're getting up like in May or something like that in June, just speed it up a little bit. Throw it out there and instead of going boom, 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 just go boom, 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 just like that. Usually not hesitating very much. So on the mid part, you're going to be going just about like this, coming through the water, just consistently coming through the water just like that. Now, as you get clear, let's say you have water visibilities of over 6 feet, over 5 or 6 feet, clear water conditions, a little bit warmer, say it's up in June, July, this is when you want to speed it up. So this is when I'll throw it out there like Shorty did, and I'll reel it real fast across the surface like that, and then I'm like this, boom, 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 boom. And I'm not stopping it. So on a clear water calm, it's going like a little bit faster through the water, like not quite that fast, but it's like, just super, at least twice as fast as in the dirtier water. This is gonna get their attention. And another thing about it is in clear water, you don't want them to get a good look at it because they can see good. Even if you try to stop it sometimes in clear water, unless they're coming up out of real deep water, a lot of times they're gonna shy away from it. So this is especially important if the water's calm. If the water's got some chop to it, you can, maybe stop it a little bit, but if in calm water, you really need to keep that bait moving unless it's cloudy. Low light conditions, let's say you're out there in June, it's slick calm, it's low, maybe it's misty rain, that's when you might speed it up and let it stop a little bit because it's a little bit lower light condition. Also, another thing you're going to find is in general, the largemouth like a little bit slower retrieve. And if you have smallmouth or if you're fishing for a lake that has a lot of smallmouth in it, smallmouth definitely prefer a faster retrieve with that. And most of the time, your rod is also really critical, guys. And also link my favorite rod in the description. You need a rod under 7 feet. I use the Mega Bass. It's the 110 special model or the jerkbait special. 6 feet 10 inches long. A 6.5 foot rod or a 6 foot 10 inch rod is perfect because it's short enough to allow you to have good wrist action. If you try to work at walking topwater with a 7 foot rod, it's too lethargic and too heavy. So go with a rod that's under 7 feet. And 99% of the time I'm using monofilament line. Usually my favorite with a walking topwater is anywhere between 12 to 20 pound test. If I need to make a super long cast with it, real clear water, I may go to 12 pound test because I can cast it further. But if I'm fishing it around the dirtier water, around cover, I may go to 20 pound test because I don't need to have that distance out of it. So anyway, guys, just a few basic tips. I know it's gonna help you out if you try them. So we'll talk later. See you.